Shabbat Shalom, everybody. My name is Jason.
I'm Caden.
I'm Jaden.
I'm Nicole.
I'm Eli.
And we are the Yahuwah and the Torah YouTube channel. And we thank you guys very, very much for being a part of our little family here. My voice is a little bit raspy. I hope that I'm able to make it through today's reading with all of you all. And so I'm not sure what it is, but it is a little bit raspy. And so we are the family that what, boys?
The law, statute, commandments are for all generations. They were never done away with.
Okay, what else, boys?
Whether we believe that the Messiah, Yehoshua, his name is not Jesus, but Yehoshua because there are no J's in Hebrew. And he is the Son of God. He is not God. We do not believe in a Trinity.
Is the laws of our Creator, or have they been done away with?
Nope, they're still around to this day. Yehoshua did not abolish them. Yahuwah himself did not abolish them. They're still around for all generations.
So you're telling me that Jesus Christ did not come to make all food clean?
Yep.
That's what I was told in all the Christian religions, and that is the problem that we have with 41,000 different religions, is 41,000 different religions are all contrary to what the scriptures say. And so if the religions are contrary to what scriptures say, what hope and what faith can we have that when we are long dead and gone, that there's going to be anywhere for us other than the pits of hell? So we are the family who believes that the Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy is the guidepost for life. They are the rules set that we have been given by the creator of the universe, and there is no expiration on them. It's not like a set of milk, right, that goes bad in 2 weeks. There's never been an expiration. In fact, our creator in Deuteronomy 28, half of the entire chapter says, I will bless you if you keep my Torah. I will bless you, bless you, bless you, bless you. Half of that. And a lot of people, and in fact, I had a Christian that actually told me that the other day. They said, I rebuke what you say, Jason. And I'm not, they said something about the blessings of Deuteronomy 28. And I'm like, wait a second. This has nothing to do with what I'm saying. This has absolutely everything to do with keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. And if you don't, then the last part of that entire chapter is all the curses. If you don't keep the commandments, you'll be cursed. Your life will be cursed. The ways you'll be cursed. And there's a saying that this guy says that the greatest blessings, the greatest blessings that you have missed out on are all the times that you were not in covenant. And a lot of people say, well, my life is blessed. You don't know how blessed you could have been unless you were in covenant with our Creator. And so this is what we call the covenant way. It's the way to our Creator according to what scriptures say. And it is not a easy way. Our Messiah says it's very, very hard. In the book of the Nazarene, he says, be very careful, those who want to grab a hold of my plow. You have to be strong. You have to be ready to grab it. There's no easy way to the kingdom, guys. And if you think there is, there's absolutely not. We are told in the regular scriptures, we're also told in the Apocrypha, that it is not an easy road. Messiah tells us very clearly in all of the scriptures, in the Besorah, the good news, that it's not easy. And so if we have this expectation of grace, 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 that we can do what we want, say what we want, go against scriptures, and we're still going to wait the magical rapture bus on the way out, that doesn't exist. And so here we are. Kate, will you please open us in prayer?
Dear Father, thank you for this day, and thank you for bringing us all back together as a united family, looking for your law, statutes, commandments, looking for your Torah, looking for your ways and what you have written down for all generations, for people to see many years down the road, to achieve your blessings, to achieve your holiness, to what we can say is the goal of life, what we can say is the goalpost, what we can say is what you want us to do. And we thank you for this. We thank you for your Son. We thank you for your prophets. And we ask that your reading today is blessed in his name. Amen.
Okay, Jade, will you please read a bit of Deuteronomy?
Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Elohim, Yahuwah is one. You shall love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your might. And these words I command you today shall be in your heart. You shall impress them upon your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, when you lie down, when you rise up. And shall bind them as a sign on your hand, they shall be frozen between your eyes, and you shall write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates.
Okay, so there's our beginning. This is our intro. And now what we're going to be doing is what we do every single week when we go through this. After we say hi to all of you all out there. Hit it, Mystical.
All right, we have Jeremy and Callan, Candy and Ruby, the Grand. And by the way, the Grand says that her pen pal loves his scriptures.
All right, and so for anyone who doesn't know let me break this up real quick and continue on. We as Boss Clan here we have a lot of pen pals in the prison industry. If there's any one of you who are Torah keepers, let me reiterate, Torah keepers, because I do not extend this out to the Christians. I don't extend this to all these other religions, because the problem is the guys we talk to are very astute, a lot of them, in scriptures. And so if you come to them with the Christian antics and say this, you're going to get schooled by some dudes in prison who know the scriptures more than you do. And so my extension is for anybody that has time, that wants to write our brothers and sisters in chains. We have names, we have ways to get a hold of them. And the Grand has changed a life of a brother in there. And our brother Barry, he's an amazing dude. I could tell you stories about all of these guys, but brother Barry, he went a little wild. Back in the days, he was doing so many drugs, he actually thought he was a gunslinger in Arizona, in a town called Tombstone, Arizona. So he was in Tombstone, Arizona on drugs, thinking he's a gunslinger, and he actually mowed down 2 people. Just one. I thought it was 2. I thought it was the man and his wife.
No.
I'm pretty sure the girls died
just
too.
The guy.
All right, well, Miss Nicole says it's only 1, but I believe it was 2. We'll have to look up the story. So anyway, our brother Barry, he's older. He's an older gentleman, and he is 75, right?
73 or 75.
So he's been in there a very long time. And there's no coming out for him, right? He will die in prison. This is his final place, his final resting spot. And so he's an old timer amongst a whole bunch of young guys. And we've had the blessings of being able to talk to him. And he had the blessing of meeting our surrogate grandma, and I don't know if surrogate's the right word, our adopted grandma, the Grand. And she has been writing him, and every single time he writes me, he thanks me for finding the Grand. And it's one of those things that this is the hand of Yah that put together some people that can absolutely, I don't know if he's helping the Grand out, but I definitely know the Grand is helping him out. And he's a very nice guy. And most of these guys in prison, they've done some horrible, heinous things, but they are very, very nice guys. So anyway, what he's talking about as far as him getting scriptures, there was three prisoners that got, excuse me, the first 3 scriptures out there, and he was one of them. 4 of them, Miss Nicole says. So there's 4 prisoners got 4 scriptures. He was one of them. So most people who order them haven't gotten them yet, but we were able to get them to prisoners, and he loves it. When he wrote me, he said it was the most incredible thing he has ever seen. The only complaint that I got from the guys in prison is this book is big. This is one of my brothers, Noe. He says this book is bigger than his head, and that's a big thing. And so it is a big book. We wanted to start out with the largest book possible that we could do because it's large print, and it's our way forthcoming on this. And so if any of you guys out there want pen pals, or if anyone out there wants to minister to those behind bars, give us an email, jboss008@gmail, and we will show you the way to get with these guys. All right,
I
Mr.
put that in the chat too.
Okay.
All right, so back to saying hi to everybody. So we have Irma, and we have Elizabeth, which is Armando's mom. And then we have Bonecat 1, Brian, Andy and Elizabeth, Lisa and Bear, Sarah Baker. And she says that she's been listening to our videos, and she says one of the things was quit yelling at Nicole. Then Jason says, just kidding, love you.
Yeah, and so that's the funny thing is when you guys start watching the videos that we do, we've been doing videos now for probably, I don't know, many moons. And so one of the things that when you guys start listening to our old videos, you will hear our life passing before your eyes, and they're living out in the middle of the jungle. You know, if you start listening to the older videos, we went on a time when we had like 25 cows die right in a row on us. We've had dogs die. We've had kids almost die out here. We've had tremendous things, and we always bring it up, usually when we're reading, especially back in the days. And so when you guys hear the stuff from back in the days, look at the date on that, because it's a long time ago. We have thousands of videos out here. All right, continue.
We have Sylvia, Jeannie, Not of This World, Obi-Lines, Chris, Honeymoon Stitched, I see him, I don't think I did, Brian, Katrina, Quentin and Claudia. Let's see who else we got. We got Rosie Chica, Sister Barb, and Stella G.
All right. Well, there we go, everyone. So thank you guys very much for those who are hanging, those who are in this. I think the chat died.
Yeah,
the chat died anyway, so I guess we don't have any chat today whatsoever. So Nicole, you will have to be our thing. This is the power of YouTube, the greatest giant company in the world that can't even get like software out that does the job. So anyway.
Also one other person, Nancy G, which is Stella and Elizabeth's sister.
Oh, yeah.
So all three sisters.
Oh, wow, 3 sisters. All right. Well, much love to you guys. I'm glad Armando's doing really good. I got a message from him. It sounds like he's doing fantastic. That's great news, right? When we get emails in from our brothers and sisters in chains, and we struggle with them, right? Because all these guys go up for parole. All of these guys go up for stuff, right? As they have ups and downs in prison, they send their ups and downs to us in letters, and we try to help and try to minister where we possibly can, try to advise them where we possibly can. We have an entire tier of guys that are completely pork free. And I have guys that are messaging me that are in this tier with these guys, and they're like, hey, my brothers are saying I shouldn't be eating pork. What you say? And I'll put up a huge letter to them, and a week later, the other brothers are coming to me, and they're like, hey, whatever you said, he's not eating pork. So it's one of these things that it doesn't matter where you guys are at. The power of the Ruach Kodesh, which is the arm of our Creator, is all around. It's everywhere. That's why one of the things that is a death sentence for us is when we blaspheme against the Ruach Kodesh, because we are blaspheming against the literal hand of our Creator that is in and around all of us, that is with us in all things. And so when we are cursing up the name of our Creator, blaspheming the Ruach HaKodesh, that is why that sin is unforgivable, because we are literally going against the Creator of the universe in all of that. All right, so here we go. Do we have anything else?
Just that the Grand says that Barry's blessing her socks off too.
Good, yeah. Barry is a penmanship. That dude can write. That dude can write like trunks of trees of paper. And that's the crazy thing, is because we don't have like a mailing thing down here, and so we can only ship the letters that dude sends, and Homeboy sends us like these manila envelopes full of like 40 handwritten papers. He just writes a lot, and so he's one of these guys that is in the prisons that is changing the way, right? There's other brothers and that are in there, when they see these Torah keepers, when they see them walking differently than the rest of them, even in prison, it is an example to the rest of them. And so these are the guys, as we support them from the outside, they are creating fruits on the inside, and they are doing tremendous things. I'm so proud of all of my brothers in chains. They've done so well over the year that we've been chatting with them. All right, so here we go, everyone. What we're going to go over right now is we're going over the laws, statutes, and commandments of our Creator. Now, if you're in a Christian religion, then they will have told you guys that these laws are no more. That they will say Jesus came and died so that none of these matter anymore, and it's all grace. You're going to get into heaven by grace. You can do what you want, grace, and it's all about grace, right? But then you look at what scriptures say, and that grace doctrine doesn't fit with the rest of scriptures. There is parts about grace, and it is absolutely by grace that our Creator gives us any sort of hope. But if you're looking at your salvation based simply on grace, it's not going to work. And the Christians will go, oh, you'll never get into heaven, Jason, by your works. And all we can do is we can say, you know what? What James says is show me your works, and I'll show you my faith by my works, right? And that is what we are supposed to do, guys. When we have the Torah, when we have the laws of our Creator, it's not something that we just talk about on Shabbat. It's something that we dress up in. It embraces our life. It embraces our entire existence. You should not be able to walk out of the house as the old man. When you have the Torah, you should be walking and in a different way. You should be walking in a different form. And it is these laws that we're just about to go over is how we will be judged on Judgment Day. And so ignorance is not bliss when you're standing in the fire. It's not going to be something I didn't know it, because everybody, it doesn't matter if you didn't know it. It matters that you didn't seek it out. It matters that you did not seek the Creator when you had the opportunity. We live in the age where there's Bibles in every house, every room. You can get it on your phones. You can get it anywhere. People that are seeking our Creator, He's able to be found, but you got to look. And so when you are seeking our Creator, this is the very first way that we get there, right? Keeping the Shabbat, keeping these Torah commands. So this is why we go over them every Shabbat, so that we can ingrain them in the hearts, minds, and souls of Yah's people, so that we are not out there defenseless. When you run into things that an adulterous woman wants to wreck your marriage, you will say, you know what? I can't do this because it's against the Torah. I cannot do this because I will become an adulterer. There's things, this is the litmus test of why, if you understand scriptures, you will not be led astray. Number 1, be fruitful.
Number 2, multiply.
Replenish the earth. Subdue it. Have to remember the fish, fowl, and every living creature.
The herb bearing in every tree is for food.
Men and women should build their own families. Master sin.
Everything moving that lives shall be food for you.
Do not eat the blood. Walk before me and be perfect.
Guard Yahuwah's covenants, laws, statutes, and commandments.
Every male shall be circumcised at 8 days old. Teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah.
Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations.
Keep the Passover, Pesach. Keep the feast of leavened bread, festival of matzah.
There's one Torah for the stranger and one for the Hebrew.
Sanctify all firstborn to Yahuwah. There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah.
You shall not make graven images.
Do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught. Keep the Shabbat.
Honor your parents.
Do not kill. Do not break wedlock.
Do not steal.
Do not make false accusations against your neighbor. Do not covet anything of your neighbor's.
Do not make an altar from rock that tool is touched.
Do not go up to the altar by the steps. If a man steals cattle, he shall restore it 5 times.
Yahuwah's law for criminals.
Do not lie with beasts. No sacrifice to other Elohim.
Do not oppress the stranger, fatherless, or widow.
Do not charge your brother interest. If you borrow your neighbor's raiment, return it to him before sunset.
Do not curse the ruler of your people.
Do not eat what is torn of any beast, no false report.
Do not follow multitude of evil.
Do not judge unrighteously against the poor. Bring back your enemy's cattle if you find it going astray.
Help the animals of your enemy.
Stay away from rumors and gossipers. Take no bribes.
Do not oppress the stranger. Love the stranger.
Give your land rest in the 7th year. Do not mention any pagan names.
Keep the feast of Yahuwah.
Do not cook your goat in his mother's milk. Obey the messenger Yahuwah sends before you.
Do not bow down to other Elohim.
Serve Yahuwah. Make no covenant with other Elohim or outsiders of the land.
Do not make use of oil on a normal person. Do not make use of perfume on a normal person.
Do not eat the fat. Do what you say you are going to do.
Return what is your neighbor's.
Obey Yahuwah's dietary laws. Women's time of separation.
Obey Yahuwah's hygiene laws.
Keep the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippurim. Do not uncover the nakedness of your family.
Do not take your woman's sister for wife.
Do not lie with a woman for uncleanness. You shall not sacrifice your children to Moloch.
Do not be a sodomite.
Be holy. Do not reap the corn of your field, or you shall not glean your vineyard.
Do not deal falsely or defraud your neighbor.
Do not lie or be a liar. Pay your workers the day's wage their due.
Do not harm the disabled.
Do not endanger your neighbor. Do not hate your brother.
Rebuke your neighbor for all his sin.
Not for all his sin, for his sin.
Love your neighbor as yourself. Do not divert your cattle.
Do not mingle your seed.
Do not mingle linen and wool. Do not lie with a taken woman.
Do not eat the fruit of the trees for 3 years.
Do not practice sorcery. Do not round your beard or the corners of your head.
Do not cut yourself with the dead.
Do not get tattoos. Do not prostitute your daughter.
Do not defile your temple.
Do not consult a medium. Respect your elders.
Have correct weights and measures.
Do not walk in the manners of the nation. Keep the feast of First Fruits, Shavuot, Omer Pentecost.
Keep the feast of trumpets, Yom Torah.
Keep the feast of Sukkot, Shem Yatzeret. If you blaspheme the name of Yahuwah, you shall be put to death.
If you kill your neighbor's animal, you must give him another.
Repay injury for injury. Honor Yobel, Jubilee year.
Confess your sins to Yahuwah and repay who you have trespassed against.
The law of being a Nazir. Or it's easy on the 4 corners of your garments.
The law of whoever touches a corpse.
Follow Yahuwah's law of inheritance. Law of keeping your oath to Yahuwah.
Do not add or take away from the word.
Guard your soul. Learn to fear Yahuwah.
You shall love Yahuwah with all your heart.
Bind the Torah upon your hand and the front between your eyes.
Let's go real quickly to that you need to love Yahuwah with all your heart. Now, a lot of people, the Christians will say this, and a lot of people will say this, oh yeah, I love God with all my heart. But if you hate what Yahuwah says, if you don't like what he says, if you don't like his words, then you don't love him with all your heart. You can't say you love your creator with all your heart, mind, and soul when you don't like what he does. If you reject his ways, his laws, his statutes, his commandments, we can't lie and say, okay, you must really love your creator, right? If you see a person out there and goes, oh, I drink blood, I like to do this, I like to do all that, and it's against the Torah, then you can't say this guy loves the creator of the universe. You're going against what he says. And so we have to take what he says, which is all scriptures from the front of the book to the back of the book. And if you truly love the creator of the universe with all your heart, then you're going to love his ways. And his ways are the Torah, because that is what he created for us before creation was ever created, before the plane that we live upon was ever created. Our creator had the Torah built. His son in the Shemaim, wherever they were at, he knew his dad's ways prior to creation, that the Torah was a part of the creation that was coming. The Torah was not made for man. Or was it the other way around? The man was not made for the Torah. The Torah was absolutely made for man. There's no other way that we can govern our life, and the only way that we will ever, as a community of people, see eye to eye is when we are under the governance of one governing agent. And this one governing agent is the creator of the universe. And so if you want to be on the same team as the creator of the universe, then when you say you love Yahuwah with all your heart, don't lie. If you hate his commandments, then don't say you love the creator with all your heart, right? It wouldn't be there. You fall in love with our creator. You fall in love with his ways. You fall in love with his Torah. You fall in love with how he interacts with his people. And that's what we have. But you can't lie and say you love your creator with all your heart when you reject the first 5 books of scriptures. Anything, chat?
This is from Chris. He says, rounding the corners of your beard, does that mean either shave all of it or none?
Yeah, shave all or none. Don't Jim Staley this. Don't do a goatees and things of this nature because you're rounding your beard. You're making it in. You either have one, you have a beard or you don't, right? And it's because that's what the pagans do. That's what the pagans did. And that is the funniest thing that, there's people out there that know the Torah. They know about the commandment of rounding the corners of your beard. And yet they still put decor up there and do just that. Very, very funny, very, very crazy. Goes back to, do we love our creator with all our heart, mind, and soul? And so our creator likes either shaved face or a bearded face. But, we're not supposed to decor ourselves and make us look like the pagans. Okay, anything else?
Brian just says, I took 2 hours on this verse alone, my opinion. Can't have a goatee, gotta have the beard. Mine is trimmed, I'm not a Nazarite. Head is the same thing.
Yeah, so hey, you know what? This is the back of the days of King David, right? Remember his guys that went and King David sent him over to be a representative to the guy who his dad had died. And so King David was over there sending the squad of people consolidating him and trying to console him on the death of his father. And these guys went and they I think they beat him up. They took half their clothes. They shaved their beards, and the crime that was a big crime, right? King David sent them to another city to get their beards grown out, right? You can't come back half shaved because you absolutely know that you got owned or drilled, right? So there is I'm not going to say there's a manhood or an alpha male to the beard thing, but beards are awesome. That's all I can say.
That because Sister Barb says beards are associated with strength.
Yeah, I agree too, man. You look at these bearded guys, and a lot of times you wouldn't want to mess with them. You don't know what's hiding behind that beard. But it's something that I will just say, it's not just a thing of look for our Creator. It is for men, it is something that will protect you, right? I haven't shaved for 10 years now. When I shave, I'm probably gonna look like I'm 13 at this point. But what's down here in the jungles will completely annihilate you. If you're out here in these jungles and you have this clean-shaven baby face and you're sitting there, you're going to get eaten alive. Your neck gets eaten alive. Things crawl up into you. Man, I haven't been bitten on my neck or anywhere near that. I have a huge thing of protection. Man, I'll catch flies out of my beard, right? I'll be looking down. There'll be something like zzz in there. I get this thing away from me. That thing would have been on my neck. So I love my beards. The only thing I don't like about them is when you use power tools. You got to be very careful. It's not something that it can get a hold of you and not let go. Okay, let's continue on. Anyone else?
No.
Okay, we love Yahuwah with all our heart, mind, and soul. What's next? Bind the Torah, laws, up on your hand and the frontlets between your eyes. Let's talk about that real quick, guys. This is very important, right? Part of this law is if you bind something between the frontlets of your eyes, right? You can't look anywhere without seeing the Torah before you see anything else. This is the point of the Torah. It's not something that we just discuss and throw away. It's something that we discuss and we wrap our lives around. So when we look at the world, we can't look at it objectively without the Torah. And so if we have the Torah, if we know what we're reading right now, and you have written these laws and statutes on your heart, mind, and soul, then everything that you look at is going to be at the edge of the Torah. It's like a gun sight, right? We don't launch anything until we are looking at it through our gun sight to see if we want it to go that way. And without the Torah, you don't know what to do. We're going to get caught up in all sorts of evil. And again, it's going to get us in trouble because we should know the Torah, because that is the greatest thing that's ever been given to us, is the laws of our Creator. Okay.
Sorry, back to your beard Lighter says, so if I'm looking for flies, just look in Jason's beard.
Yeah, look for flies. Look for it. You're talking some alpha male stuff here. You don't know what's in my beard. I got honey from like 3 years ago. So
Jeremy says working on vehicles, they can get caught in moving parts. And Sister Barb says she was worried about being taken by car repairs a while back, and the Ruach nudged her to trust the bearded one. And
Yes.
he's been her mechanic ever since.
absolutely trust the bearded one. Yeah, so there is definitely a time to tie up your beard when you're working on cars or when you're working on anything. And that's I've often thought of it like when these guys went into battle, I am pretty sure they tied these beards completely up so that they're able to wield this stuff and the beard doesn't get in the way. I don't know that for a fact, but I think that after sporting a beard for as long as I have, I think that's the only way to wage war. Okay.
Write the laws on your doorposts.
Do not tempt Yahuwah. Do what is right and good in the sight of Yahuwah.
Do not be afraid of your enemies.
Remember Yahuwah. Circumcise your heart.
Cleave to Yahuwah.
Swear by his name. Destroy graven images.
Do not make an idol of Yahuwah, as the pagans do to their Elohim.
Rejoice in all Yahuwah has blessed you with. Do not do what is right in your own eyes.
Do not hearken the words of false prophets.
Do not make any baldness between your eyes for the dead. You should not eat any abominable thing.
Pause for a second.
Yeah, I was going to take it too. Go for it.
Stella says, is there any time when you go bald and clean shaven?
For me? No.
Or is there anywhere in the Bible that says that you should go bald and clean shaven?
Well, when you
yeah,
come in
that-
Nazarite vow, you shave your
Or
head.
you're like really unclean, like you have leprosy. You
Yeah.
gotta shave it all off.
Yeah, if you have leprosy, there's redness of the skin. Back in the days, the priest would have you go and shave all your hair. I think too.
I think so.
I think everything because they wanted you clean shaven, but that was under sickness, things of this nature, and that's what the whole thing is they would cut their hair and they would they would go completely bald. If you look at the Egyptians, right, completely bald. I think they even shaved their eyebrows back in the day too, as well. But that's the thing is our Creator doesn't want us to look like pagans. We should absolutely be identifiable by what we are. You look at some dude and he's got a big burly beard. Then you look down, he's got some zit that are blue. Then you go, man, this guy might know the way to Yahuwah. This guy might be the right guy, right? So.
And they shaved him during mourning.
Yeah, and mornings. Yeah, for the dead as well. Okay, where we at, fellas?
We are on.
You shall give to a stranger of clean food that died of itself, but you shall not eat of it.
Give your tithe of your increase of seed year by year.
Lodge the end of the 7-year lease.
Do not borrow from the nations.
Do not harden your heart nor shut your hand from the poor.
Guard month 1 of Yahuwah's calendar.
3 times a year all males shall appear before Yahuwah.
You shall make judges and officers in all your gates.
Do not plant Asherah poles near the altar.
There must be 2 or 3 witnesses.
Hearken unto the prophet who has chosen.
Private test of Deuteronomy.
Do not remove your neighbor's property line.
How to deal with the false witness among Torah keepers.
The first child is to get double portions.
If your brother's cattle or clothes are lost and you find them, you must return them.
A woman should not wear what pertains to a man, nor a man wear what pertains to a woman.
If you find a bird's nest with the mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, not the mother.
You go back to that, a man should not wear what pertains to a woman should not wear what pertains to a man, or a man wear what pertains to a woman. If you guys look at the direction that we are in North America, that is one of these things that, like, this commandment, everybody's breaking this, right? The people that are okay with this exact thing that is happening right now, where the men have become women, the women become men, that's an abomination to our Creator, right? A dude isn't supposed to be wearing high heels with a beard, right? That's not a woman. A woman is a woman and a man's a man. And somehow we have completely crossed these lines. When I was, even 10 years ago when we left the States, it was really bad. But in the course of the decade we've been out of the States, it has gotten I can't even recognize what North America looks like anymore. It is a cesspool. Not only is the drugs and the homelessness and the brokenness of North America. North America is a country under judgment right now. There is no going back. You cannot undo a civilization that is at the degrading point that it is at. Every civilization in the times before that have come across that end up in the state that North America is in, they end up gone, destroyed, destruction. And so this is where we have to be very, very careful that even those of us that are still stuck in North America, which is a lot of you guys, I know, we can't condone what is happening around us, right? We can't say, oh, okay, that dude in high heels with a beard and a dress, that's okay. He's a woman, right? That's not what this is, right? We've lost all of our ability and morals and understanding that it is not a dude. A dude is not a chick, and a chick is not a dude. It's really weird. I even have to talk about this, but we are in a very, very foul time of our existence, and I don't think North America is going to walk away from this one. I think it's just going to keep on going down. I can't imagine what another 10 years of this degradation is going to look like. Okay.
Jeremy just says, not only in America, the abomination is all over the earth now. And Chris says, same here in UK. You can't go into a town without seeing a cross-dresser.
Yeah, you know what's funny down here in Panama? They just had a new president elected, and who comes down here? Joe Biden and the Rainbow Parade. They're all out there, and so we have all of this North American sickness that is coming down here. And as much as I blame North America, the 75% of the pornography of the world comes out of California. And so if you're looking at a place that has destroyed the world with pornography and with sickness and with disease, there's California. And so, yeah, and it has taken over the world. It's not as bad down here. I mean, we don't have it like they have it in the States. I mean, there's not the ginormous parades like they do, but I think they might have had a parade. I think they might have had a parade a while ago. But it's pretty bad, guys.
They did in June.
In Pride Month.
The lady that runs the embassy, the U.S. Embassy down here, was the one that was leading.
Okay, so yeah, it's the U.S. Embassy is leading the Pride. It's just the U.S., man. It's like everywhere we go, we can't get away from the U.S., unfortunately. Okay, continue on. If you find a bird's nest with a mother and the babies or eggs, take the babies, but not the mother.
If you build a new house with flowers that will be lived on, you must put a railing around it.
Don't be a prostitute. Do not use dirty money.
Torah divorce.
Do not take a person's millstone for a pledge. If you lend your brother to go into his house to get your payment, he is bringing to you. Return his clothing before sunset if that was his pledge.
Do not put say higher servant as poor and needy.
Every man shall be put to death for his own sin. Do not go back to the forgotten sheep of the field, for the stranger, fatherless, and widow.
Do not muzzle your ox when he treads out grain.
If your brother dies, has no child, you shall take his wife, and name the firstborn after your brother. At the end of 7 years, you will read the Torah at the Feast of Coat, Feast of Tabernacles.
All right, there we are, guys. Those are the most precious things that we have been given. And I would say they're more precious than life, right? Because without them, then we have a spiritual death that is a bad way to end our existence in a place that never gets any better. All right, guys, my voice is getting owned. It's getting worse. Okay, Jade, if you can give us a breakdown. What happens? We're in Leviticus 7. Give us a quick breakdown of where we're at to this point.
Moses freed the people out of Egypt. They made it through wars and got through the plagues of Egypt, and then they moved out of the land. They made it to Mount Sinai. Moses was on the mountain for 40 days. They all started worshiping a golden calf called Yahuwah. Moses came back, broke the 10 Commandments, slaughtered 3,000 people. Then he went back up, had to get new stones. Yahuwah wrote the 10 Commandments again. He gave them all the blueprints, all the commands for the Torah. And now we are learning about the Levitical commands and the sacrifices and what to do when certain sins. So that is what we've learned in the last 5 chapters of Leviticus, or 6 chapters.
Okay, all right, so here we go. May my voice keep going. And this is the Torah of the guilt offering. It is most Kodesh. The guilt offering is slaughtered in the place where they slaughter the burnt offering, and his blood is sprinkled on the altar all around. Then he brings from it all its fat, the fat tail and the fat that covers the entrails, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them by the loins, and the appendage on the liver, which he removes with the kidneys. And the Kohen shall burn them on the altar as an offering made by fire to Yahuwah. It is a guilt offering. And so what are we talking about? What do we just peel off of this exactly? What's sizzling on the fryer at the moment?
All the fat.
The fat, and also they put the kidneys on there, right?
It looks like organs.
Yeah, certain things that aren't meat, right? And so we're going to be getting that sizzling fat sound here real shortly on this altar. All right, verse, guys.
7, I think.
7
or 6.
6.
All right. Every male among the Kohanim eats it. It is eaten in the Kodesh place. It is most Kodesh. The guilt offering is like the sin offering, and there is one Torah for them both. The Kohen who makes atonement with it, it is his. And the Kohen who brings anyone's burnt offering, the skin of the burnt offering which he has brought is the Kohen's. It is his. All right, what are we talking about? The skin of the burnt offering. What is the priest getting here exactly?
Well, I assume if it's like a cow or a sheep, I assume like either wool or you get like the skin, the flesh of it.
Yeah, you get like leather. Yeah, leather from the cows. I mean, you essentially get this, and I don't think it would be. I don't know if they would tan this hide. I think they might. I don't know if this just goes in a pile. For those who do not know about things of this nature, when you kill an animal, you have to tan the hide. You have to pull it out, stretch it, salt it, and put it into a condition that you can actually use. If you try to keep this stuff with all of that stuff on there, it becomes rotten. It becomes really, really gross. And so I don't know exactly how this particular piece went. I don't know if people actually tanned the hides or gave them to the Kohanim, or if the Kohanim had some guys that actually processed the skins and took care of them, because there would be a lot of them every single day. What you got?
Lisa says, is the fat okay to be used as flavor from pork?
Flavor from pork. Okay. I don't think so.
I don't think you're doing anything with pork.
Yeah.
Well, no, she's talking about if changing the flavor, right? Using it as a flavor instead of pork flavoring. Is that what she's saying?
I don't know.
Read that again.
Is the fat okay to be used as flavor from pork?
Oh, from pork? No, absolutely not. Don't do it. Whatever you're doing, don't do that. So we have this little troll down here. His name is Evil Eric, and he's like a little Satanist. And we used to hang out with this dude for a long time. He produces food. And so Evil Eric, the Satanist, because he knew we were Torah keepers and we were getting in the Torah road about that time, this dude sent us a picture of this pork, and he has a big chunk of pork he had it on a scale, and it said 6.6 pounds. And he says, thinking of you as I'm making this. And what Evil Eric does is this little Satanist guy, he takes pork and takes the fat, drains it into the liquid, and then flavors all of his food with it. So every bit of this dude, Evil Eric's food, is completely contaminated with pork. And so it is very disgusting. And we are, in any of our food that we make, you don't put pork in it, right? Pork is not for us. That is nothing. We shouldn't touch it. It shouldn't be a part of us. We look down upon this because it will make us sick. It's disgusting. And so you would not want to put fat from pork in any of your food at all. We've heard of people that actually use fat from cows in that same kind of way, but we have the commandment not to eat fat. And so if we're just taking fat and we're boiling the fat up as any kind of flavoring, that's the same thing. Just because you boil it down doesn't mean when you bring that back, it's still going to be a chunk of fat. And that stuff's not healthy, right? We're not to eat stuff that is unhealthy. That's why our Creator knows what He made and how He made us, and we're not to eat that stuff. What do you got?
Sarah just said, she's like, I literally listened to the Evil Eric story yesterday.
Oh yeah, Evil Eric. Yeah, that guy changed our lives forever. All right, let's continue on. Where are we at? Is there 9? Are we sure done?
Yeah.
Okay, 9. And every grain offering that is baked in the oven, and all that is prepared in the stewing pot or on a griddle, is the Kohan's who brings it. It is his. And every grain offering mixed with oil or dry is for the sons of Aaron, for all alike. And this is the Torah of the slaughtering of peace offerings, which is brought to Yahuwah. If he brings it for a thanksgiving, then he shall bring with the slaughtering of thanksgiving unleavened cakes mixed with oil, and unleavened thin cakes anointed with oil, or cakes finely blended, flour mixed with oil. All right, what are we talking about, this particular verse right here? What exactly is unleavened cakes mixed with oil? What is unleavened thin cakes anointed with oil? And what are cakes finely blended flour mixed with oil? What are we talking about?
Tortillas?
What is that, Mystical? What are we cooking up here with
Tell
this
me
stuff?
again, sorry, I was reading the chat.
You weren't listening?
No, I was reading the
All
chat.
things. It's usually the kids. Okay, here we go. Okay.
Okay, you have me controlling the chat.
All right, here we go. What are we making? He's talking about bring the slaughterings of unleavened cakes mixed with oil, unleavened thin cakes anointed with oil, or cakes of finely blended flour mixed with oil. What are they
It's
making?
like the matzah, the tortillas.
Matzah? Is just tortillas, regular tortillas, something of the sort.
Yep.
And so this is what the Kohen, I think, are going to be eating on this stuff. And so this is their recipes for making this. Okay, 13. Besides the cakes, he brings as an offering leavened bread together with the slaughtering of thanksgiving of his peace offering. Sorry, that's Nora. I don't know what she's doing, why she's yelling at anyone. Okay.
Attacking Josh on the couch.
Yeah, that's our dog. Sorry, folks. Let's continue on. 13. Did I do 13? Are you even paying
Yeah,
attention,
you
kid?
13 or 14.
Okay. And from it, he shall bring one cake from each offering as a contribution to Yahuwah. To the Kohen who sprinkles the blood of the peace offering, it is his. As for the flesh of the slaughtering of his peace offering for thanksgiving, it is eaten the same day it is offered. He does not leave any of it until morning. Now, do you guys think the priests were fat? Do you guys think that these guys
don't
got
think
fat,
so.
or do they work so
I
much?
don't know. They were like working in a sauna all the time.
They got a lot of food. Everybody who comes to them, there's always
There's
food
also a lot of
delivered.
priests.
Lot of
They were
sinners.
like they were, I think
A lot
they
of
were-
sinners, yeah.
They were alternating like workers, right? It wasn't like they were doing sacrifice all the time.
Right. Well, there's a whole group of people, right? There's a band of guys. Not everybody's slaughtering. Not everybody's doing it. You
And
got
most
the
of
guys.
it's, like, really, really healthy food. It's not like
That's
super
true.
fattening food.
That's true, but there's a lot of it, right? There seems to be quite a bit. Okay, 17. Is that where we're at, fellas?
You are, no, you're on 16.
Okay. And if the offering he brings is a vow or voluntary offering, it is eaten the same day that he brings the slaughtering, or what is left of it is eaten the next day. But whatever is left of the flesh of the slaughtering on the third day is burned with fire. However, if any of the flesh of his peace offering is eaten at all on the third day, it is not accepted. It is not reckoned to him who brings it. It is unclean to him, and the being who eats of it bears his wickedness. All right, so is this talking about we don't need a refrigerator for 3 days when we have cooked meat? Is this, anyone catch that? Because after 3 days, it's not good, but I don't think they had refrigeration units back in the day,
Yeah,
so...
I assume it's
No,
gonna
I
start.
think it become really dry, would it?
It's gonna start coming back. I assume flies are gonna go around it if it's just sitting there for 3 days. It's not gonna be clean anymore.
Yeah, probably not. Will you please stop the dog? Okay, let's continue on here.
19.
I think it's 18, isn't it?
19.
All right. And the flesh that touches that which is unclean is not eaten. It is burned with fire. And as for the clean flesh, all who are clean eat of it. Sorry, guys. But the being who eats the flesh of the peace offering, but the being who eats of the flesh of the peace offering that belongs to Yahuwah, while he is unclean, that being shall be cut off from his people. And when a being who touches that which is unclean, of the uncleanness of man, or in the uncleanness of beast, or of any unclean swarming creature, and shall eat the flesh of the peace offering that belongs to Yahuwah, that being shall be cut off from his people. Okay, what exactly are we talking about here, guys, with this whole thing? We're talking about the food. We're talking about the people that eat this, and they have to be clean, they have to be unclean. What are we dealing with here?
If you were unclean and you had like any form of uncleanness, whether it was like through dead corpse, through anything, through blood, through sickness, whatever it was, if you go in there and you eat the food that is kodesh, and then you go to the temple, which is supposed to be clean, which is supposed to be holy, you're going to be cut off from your people. There's a specific rule because God did not want any disease, any bacteria going into his temple.
Yeah, our Creator wants us clean in all ways, shapes, and forms. Okay, 22. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Yisrael, saying, Do not eat any fat of bull or sheep or goat, right? So right there we have a blanket statement, right? If you are a child of Yisrael, who we should all be considered children of Yisrael, because the children of Yisrael are the people who are in covenant. We are the people who believe the law, statutes, and commandments, right? That's the only definition that we ever have. In fact, back when Father Abraham was around, there was no Jews. And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think, oh, he was a Jew. He was never a Jew. He came, he was a pagan. Abraham was a pagan. He came out of a pagan land. And these are the commandments that we are told. So as far as, looking around any of this, we have a blanket statement on 23 that says, do not eat any fat of bull or sheep or goat, right? Don't do it, right? That's just the bottom line. 24. And the fat of a dead body and the fat of what is torn is used for any purpose, but you do not eat it at all. Now, I think they use the fat on this stuff as kind of isn't it a cleaning solution of some sort? Don't they make I think they make like I think with lye and animal fat, they make this. And so this is what we're talking about right here is the fat. If you find like a beefy dead animal and it's dead, I guess you can use the fat on it to make soaps or something of the sort, but don't eat it. Okay, right? Because we get sick, and our Creator doesn't want us to get sick. 25. For whoever eats the fat of the beast of which men bring as an offering made by fire to Yahuwah, even the being who eats it shall be cut off from his people. All right, and that's not a good thing. You cut off from the people, and you're gone. You don't hang out with them anymore. Okay, 26. And do not eat any blood in any of your dwellings of bird or beast. Now, there's an argument, and I've talked to people about this before, and there's the guys who are, when you talk about cooking steak, this is two different ways to look at it, and I'll be honest, I don't know exactly who's right or who's wrong. But I've always told people that a medium rare steak or rare steak, there's still going to be blood in it. Now, you'll have these other people, though, that say there's absolutely no blood. This is something else in the steak. You're not actually eating it if you eat it rare. It's some other name of something. And I went out and researched this, and it's a little iffy. It's a little iffy to me. As far as I can see, I would probably just stick with a well-done steak, something of that sort. because it talks about this, right? We're not supposed to drink blood. It's not what people of Yah do. It doesn't matter. And you have these crazy Satanists out there, and they will literally cut an animal up and drink blood. They literally will cut children up and drink the blood of a tortured children. They enjoy what they scientifically they call adrenochrome. The Satanists literally get high off the blood of the people they're torturing, and it's a real deal. There's so many stories of it that it's not something that's fake. It's something that these people do as their religion, as their rituals, as their ways of dealing with conjuring demons, things of that sort. And so we don't do it, right? We are different than these people. We don't drink the blood. Okay, 28. Is that where we're at, fellas? Anyone?
No, you're on
27.
27, yeah.
Okay. And any being who eats any blood, even that being shall be cut off from his people. And Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, He who brings his peace offering to Yahuwah brings his offering to Yahuwah from the slaughtering of his peace offering. With his own hands he brings the offerings made by fire to Yahuwah. He brings the fat with the beast to be waved as a wave offering before Yahuwah. And the Kohen shall burn the fat on the altar, but the breast shall be Aaron's and his sons. Okay, so we understand that the priests are being cooked the meat. The fat is what's going up to Yah as his sweet fragrance, the stuff he likes. And if you think your creator of the universe is billions of light years away and you're spinning around this world on a spinning water ball, I don't think that's real. I think our creator has this earth as his footstool, and I think he's watching his little terrarium that we have right here, and he's seeing who's going to obey him, who's not. Okay. Gentlemen?
You're on 32.
Thank you. We've been doing this enough. I think you guys could get this to me right.
I do it every time right today.
Well, thank you. Keep it timely. He among the sons of Aaron, who brings the blood of the peace offering and the fat and the right thigh is his for a portion. For the breast of the wave offering and the thigh of the contribution I have taken from the children of Israel from their peace offerings, and I give them to Aaron the Kohen and his sons as a law forever from the children of Israel. This is the anointed portion to Aaron and the anointed portion for his sons, from the offerings made by fire to Yahuwah, on the day when Moshe presented them to serve as Kohen to Yahuwah, which Yahuwah commanded to be given to them by the children of Israel, on the day that he anointed them, a law forever throughout their generations. This is the Torah of the burnt offering, of the grain offering, and of the sin offering, and of the guilt offering, and of the ordinations, and of the peace offering, which Yahuwah commanded Moshe on Mount Sinai on the day when he commanded the children of Israel to bring their offerings to Yahuwah in the wilderness of Sinai. And as we swap over to Matthew, you know, I was reading this morning in the book of the Nazarene, and Messiah talks about don't be like Moshe. Don't be stuck on the outer edges of the kingdom looking in because you guys didn't do what we should be doing to get to the kingdom. I found that an extremely thought-provoking verse that, yeah, we don't want to be hanging out on the top of a mountain looking into the kingdom on looking what we could have if only we would have been obedient to our creator, right? Moshe only messed up one time, right? He instead of speaking to a rock, he smashes the rock with his stick, goes off about the rebels, and the water comes out, and Yah made it look good. Yah made Moshe looked real good right there, right? Because he wasn't going to, when Moshe was supposed to talk to the rock, he allowed water to flow out of the rock. He upheld him in the eyes of Yisrael, but because of that simple action right there, he was unable to make it in the promised land. And so this is our same understanding that we have to, we have a path. We have a covenant path. Let's not be the ones who are outside looking in, wondering why we didn't make this. Okay, so here we are. You have anything?
Sister Barb has a question. She's like, is it okay to chat while the brother is speaking, or is this disrespectful? Because they're talking about, like, one of the girls' daughters is pregnant, so they were talking about that. But
I don't see
think it's
you guys. This is the power of the chat, is that we can come together as a group of hopefully like-minded people, equally yoked in all of this. And this is the power of conversation. I think we should be able to talk about anything openly. The problem is today I don't have chat, so I can't even hang out with you guys, so I have no idea what you're saying. Usually I like to jump in on this, but this billion-dollar company, YouTube, can't even get their chat working, which is incredible. So no, I don't think it's disrespectful. I think people can chit-chat about it. There's a lot of conversations that will probably come up because of the things that we say, and this is the right time, I think, to do it. So I don't think anyone should be offended out there on this. All right, So let's get into Matthew, the book of Matthew. This is an amazing, amazing book. Just simply amazing. And Matthew 7, I speak on a tremendous amount. There is more gold from this than in Mexico, right? You get tons of gold in this chapter alone. So guys, give me a quick lowdown what happened between Matthew 1 and 6, where we're at right here. Someone? Anyone?
We had Yahushua's birth, we had him growing up, we had him getting lost, we had him meeting John the Baptist, and then setting out and finding his own people. We had him find Peter, and his brother Andrew. We had him start gathering people, and we had him fasting 40 days and being tempted. Now he's going off and teaching people what they should have known all this time, but because Israel has become corrupted, because they've gone into exile, because they're under oppression by Rome, they don't know any of these things Yahushua's teaching.
All right, so here we are, guys. Matthew 7, incredible chapter. Here we go. This is one of these Christian go-tos, right? Oh, you see me in sin. Oh, I'm eating that pork. Let me tell you right here, first one, do not judge lest you be judged, right? That no Christian wants to be judged, because if they are judged by what they do, then they are against the Torah and they will be sent to hell. Now, what does this mean, gentlemen? Does this mean, let's go into 2 real quick. For with what judgment you judge, you shall be judged, and with the same measure you use, it shall be measured to you. All right, does this mean that if somebody's eating pork, we shouldn't mention to them? That goes against the scriptures. That means that's not good. If we're judging our under the judgment of Messiah Yahushua's own words. Gentlemen.
No.
Why?
Because that's something in the Torah. If we are living accordingly, if we're eating pork and we tell them, hey, you shouldn't eat pork, that's the problem. But if we are living in the way of the Torah and we tell them, hey, pork is all these health problems, even our Creator says you shouldn't eat it, and they say, don't judge me, you're like, I'm not judging you, I'm trying to help you.
Okay, what Torah command do we have that actually tells us that we should be
Rebuke your neighbor in sin.
Yeah, rebuke your neighbor for his sin, right? If you love your neighbor, by default, you don't want these people ending up in the fires of Gehenna. Okay, so don't let that verse right there throw you guys off. That is a Christian conundrum. Okay, 3. And why do you look at the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not notice the plank in your own eye? Or how is it that you say to your brother, let me remove that splinter out of your eye, and see, a plank is in your own eye? Hypocrite! First remove the plank from your own eye, and then you shall see clearly to remove the splinter out of your brother's eye. Guys, this is so important that we need to understand. What are we talking about here, fellas? Do we ever hear about this in our house?
Yes.
When do we hear about this? Often. That's weird, huh? Because we live in a brotherhood here, a brotherhood of brothers that beat each other, and I guess that's what brothers do. I am an only child, so I don't understand it, and I probably wasn't given a brother for this same reason. But what is that? What does that mean, fellas? Eli, come on.
It means
silence here, guys.
It means fix yourself before trying to fix somebody else.
Fix yourself before. That's it. That is a perfect. I will accept that. I think that is exactly right. Fix ourselves. How do we fix ourselves? What do we fix ourselves by?
By Torah.
By Torah, right? If it's in the Torah, that is how we align ourselves. If it's not in the Torah, we don't have an example. That's why we have the Torah. Okay, continue on. 6. Do not give what is kodesh to the dogs, nor throw your pearls before the pigs, lest they trample them under their feet and turn and tear you in pieces. Okay? A lot of people don't understand this, right? If you have pigs, you will understand this. If you have animals, you'll know this, right? Animals don't give a rip about what you give them. If it's not food, they don't care. They don't care about it, right? The pigs will probably start chewing on the pearls and probably spit that out. They're not going to be happy. The book of the Nazarene, chapter 9, it has almost this exact same verse, except Messiah reiterates a little bit more, and he says that unless you give these pigs husks or bones, then these animals are going to turn on you, right? And so you don't give things that are holy to animals that won't appreciate it. And this is the same thing that we live on YouTube with 3 billion Christians, and every one of the billion Christians have all been saved. And you give them these little glimmers of hope. You give them scriptures out of the Torah. You tell them there's a different way, and they laugh at you. They're like, "Oh, you're a legalistic. You're legalistic, Jason." And so they trample them on their feet, right? They laugh at you. I don't know how many people on YouTube that just laugh. And over the years, I mean, we've been at the heart of this for a very long time. And the Christians of all they don't have an open mind. They've been programmed with their religion programming, and the last thing they want to do is hear a different way or hear what scriptures really says, and they're too lazy to ever read scriptures for themselves, and so they don't know, but they will completely trample that. And that's what Messiah says. He's like, these people are going to mock you, they're going to beat you, they're going to throw it away. Don't give your pearls to the pigs. You'll know the pig right out of the gate, right? When they start laughing at you, you're like, okay, have a wonderful day, my friend. Hopefully that seed will be planted for somewhere down the future that you can use it. But continue on.
Brian also says they say, I do not have to follow the law.
Yeah, they don't have to follow the law, and that is very true. Our Creator has given us free will. You can absolutely be those people that don't want to follow the law, and you will have friends in that entire place. In fact, the ringleader of everybody is the devil, Satan, Ha-Satan. He doesn't want to follow this either. And so if you want to hang out with that dude because you think that dude is some awesome, amazing dude, he will use you and abuse you and send you off to hell, and he doesn't care about you. But the Creator of the universe loves you, and he doesn't want to take care of you. That's why he gives us good news and good words that we should take. Okay. 7. Ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and he who seeks finds. And to him who knocks, it shall be opened. Okay. This is another Christian thing, right? We hear this all the time. Christians are like, they will take 2 verses out of Matthew, and they're like, look, all we have to do is ask, and it'll be given to us. Seek, we'll find. Guys, if we are not in covenant with our Creator, if you don't love our Creator with all your heart, with all your mind, with all your soul, a lot of promises, a lot of things in scriptures don't apply to you. Right? If you're living the good Christian life and you think that our Creator is giving you great stuff because you're in covenant and you love him, remember the devil has ultimate power on earth and can enrich you. He can bless you according to his ways of blessing you. And the people of earth, the worldly people, they love it, right? They love money. Who doesn't want to make a ton of money and be famous and all this stuff, right? So to get these promises, guys, read Deuteronomy 28 if you don't believe me, right? If you don't obey the law, statutes, and commandments, you have like 15 verses of curses that will happen to you in your life and in around you. If you do keep the law, statutes, and commandments, then you have an adversary, not an adversary, you have an advocate, and you definitely have an adversary because the devil definitely doesn't like you. So we need to be in covenant, and all of these promises that Messiah says is for us. But if you are out of covenant, if you hate the words of our Creator, if you hate the Torah, you can ask all you want, and it's not going to be from the hand of Yah. It might be from the hand of Yah to get you in another place, but more than likely, it's not going to be what you think it's going to be. 9. Or is there? Go ahead.
Jeremy just says, how is an abolished law going to be put on our hearts?
Yeah, and that's the thing is the people that say the laws are gone, which laws? And they're like, all of them. Okay. Those are dangerous people, right? Those are completely dangerous people. Those are the people that will rob you blind. Those are the people that don't care about oaths. They're the people that Christians are dangerous people. I mean, as it is, anybody in the world is a dangerous person. But if you live in a religion where you don't really have sin and you can get away from the sin and there's no moral compass and there's no guide, then if you're doing business with these people, they could very much rip you off, and they won't give a rip because they don't think they're going to be accountable in the life to come. Okay, continuing on. 9. Or is there a man among you whom if his son asks for bread shall give him a stone? Or if he asks for a fish shall give him a snake? If you then, being wicked, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more shall your Father who is in the Shamayim give what is good to those who ask him? Okay, this is very, very important, right? We are all children of the Most High. If you think your parents love you, or even if they don't, if you think your parents love you, imagine the love of the individual who really created you, who mapped out the freckles on your back, who mapped out the moles on your back and your chest, who gave you hair toes, right? Who knows how many armpit hairs you have? This is the Creator of the universe who knows absolutely everything about you, and he loves you. He breathed into you the breath of life and gave you a spirit and let you walk here so that you could walk back to him if you are so willing. So when we pray, when we are in covenant with our Creator, I will tell you firsthand that prayer does move mountains. Prayer changes things. Prayer stops fires in the middle of a raging fire on dry grass. It just stops it. Those are the things I've seen with prayer. And it will do much more, right? If we have the faith to move mountains and we know our Creator's there and we are in covenant with our Creator, then what we say is very, very important. And what's even more important is what we don't say, because our Creator knows what we need before we do it. Sorry, guys, my voice is totally fading. I'm going to make it through this. Here we go. One more time. 12. Therefore, whatever you want men to do to you, do also for them. For this is the Torah and the Nebiim. Okay? What does Messiah mean by this, right? Whatever you want men to do to you, do also to them, for this is the Torah and the Nebiim.
Well, if you want to be treated with respect, and you respect, you want to be treated with love, you need to love.
Yeah, love your neighbor, right? Love your neighbor as yourself. Those are the commands we always have. Okay, 13. Very, 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 very important. You got something, Mr. Cole?
Sister Barbara says, put your faith in the word and he will write it upon your heart. It is a miracle, actually. You will always remember it.
Yeah, absolutely. And those who do not read scriptures, you're losing out. You're missing out. Dang it. We can all sit here and we can all listen to people on YouTube. We can all listen to scriptures. We can do all this stuff, but don't trust me. Don't trust the Yahoo and the Torah group. Don't trust any of this. Trust the scriptures, right? Read the scriptures and see what the scriptures say to you. Start at page 1. Don't start at page 7/8 of the way of the book, the Rabbi Shaul. Start at page 1 and slowly read chapters a day. It doesn't take that long to read scriptures, I promise you. Boss Clan did a couple times through scriptures in a year. Over and over and over. And I would say more than a couple times. So if you're looking at actually making it through scriptures, it is completely possible for you guys to do easily. Just pay attention, right? Don't do it at 11 o'clock at night when you're right in bed and you're about to pass out cold and you read halfway through and you're gone, you don't get it, you have no idea what it says. Read this when you're fresh. Read this as you are willing to enter it into your brain. That's the only way forward on this. Okay. Very, very important verses. Coming on, guys. Therefore, 13. Enter in through the narrow gate, because the gate is wide and the way is broad that leads to destruction, and there are many who enter through it. Enter in through it. Okay, we'll finish this and discuss this. Because the gate is narrow and the way is hard pressed, which leads to life, which leads to Kai, and there are few who find it. Okay, guys, we got 3 billion Christians right now. I don't know how many different Christians we have. We have 3 billion of them, and every one of them will tell you they're saved. They raised their hand at 8 years old, and they accepted Jesus into their heart. Now they pray to Jesus. They got it. They go to church on Sunday. They are good Christians. They found it, right? But Scriptures tells us right here, this is from the words of our Messiah. Now, our Messiah is either a liar or he is not. And I do not believe he is a liar, because I've never found a single sentence he's ever said that leads me to believe he's a liar. So if he says there are few who find the gate, right? Who find the narrow gate? Guys, it's very hard to get into the kingdom to come. This is not something that's easy. It's not something that's done lazyfied. This is something that all of us must have our heart, mind, and soul. We must guide ourselves through this. Nobody else can get us into the kingdom to come. It says the gate is narrow, right? It's a narrow gate. What does that mean? It means it's real tiny, guys. Okay, but there's a way that is really broad. So we have a tiny, narrow gate that most don't make it through. Then we have a broad way that leads to destruction. Guys, this should scare the heck out of every single one of you guys that are out there, because who are we to decide if we are ever going to find this, right? We are only going to find this kingdom based upon prayer, based upon repentance, based upon a humble heart. Guys, it's nothing is guaranteed, right? The day of judgment is going to scare us all. It does not matter who we are. It is going to scare us. And none of us deserve the Shamayim. None of us deserve our Messiah. But there is a way that our Creator has made it that we can do this. So Messiah says there are few who find it. Let's continue on. You got something, Mr. Nicole?
Sister Barbara says, turn your enemies over to the hand of Yah and ask that he is merciful upon them, for his wrath is great for his children.
Yeah, and we even are supposed to be praying for our enemies, right? That is the thing, is when we can change our heart to pray for those who have done us injustice. That's huge, right? That's what we're told in Scriptures to do, and it's hard. We pray for our enemies as well, and we pray, and it's hard to do, especially those who are actively acting vicious. Okay, 15. But beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are savage wolves. Guys, there's so many people on YouTube. There's so many of these Torah keepers. There's so many people. It is so dangerous. We have guys like Jim Staley who have many. I think he has like 100,000 more, maybe 200,000 subs. I mean, it's just growing. But when you listen deep down, there's a lot of problems. There's a lot of things that are not part of scriptures. He's a Trinitarian for being one of them. He's almost a closet Trinitarian, but you can hear it within his words. These are the things that gets people they do not know. And you will have guys that are wolves, and you have to be very, very careful with them. But by their fruits you shall know them. Are grapes gathered from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? So every good tree yields good fruit, but a rotten tree yields wicked fruit. A good tree is unable to yield wicked fruit, and a rotten tree to yield good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. So then, by their fruits, you shall know them. Guys, this is another thing, right? We are the trees. What are you guys? We're trees, right? So if we are supposed to be giving out good fruits, do our lives represent good fruits? Are people knowing that we are not with the world? When people look at us from outside, do we look like the world, taste like the world? Are we watching movies or watching TV? Are we doing the things of this evil generation? Right? TV wasn't even around to the 50s or 60s, the generations before us. Look at what the TV did to us, right? And you sit there and you have your kids babysat by the one-eyed sleep snatcher, and you have all these satanic companies. Guys, all of these television stations are owned by like 5 or 6 conglomerates that have control of everything. And when you sit and you watch the TV, guys, you're opening up your heart, mind, and soul to the devil. You will be infused with evil of this world. It is something you cannot undo, and you should shut these TVs off. You should shut the movies off. Shut this destructive music off, this stuff that is unholy, unkodesh. Because you can't undo this stuff, guys. We are not going to be yielding good fruits when we are surrounded by evil, when we're listening to music that you wouldn't be listening to if Messiah was sitting right next to us, right? Messiah is around us, right? Everything we do and say is being recorded on the scrolls of the Shemaim. We're not going to get away from what we do, and so we have to be ready. And if we're not bearing good fruit, then we're going to get chopped down and we're going to be thrown into the fires of hell. That's what this is talking about. Now, finishing on, this is probably one of my favorite verses of all time. Nobody listens to this. Nobody even understands it. Not everyone who says to me, Adonai, Adonai, Master, Master, shall enter into the reign of the Shemaim, but he who is doing the desire of my Father in the Shemaim. Gentlemen, what is the desire of the Father in the Shemaim?
The Torah.
The Torah. There's nothing else. Do you know the Torah, and are you obeying the Torah, or are you not? That's all there is. That is the desire of our Creator. It's not whether or not we're eating pig, right? That's not the desire of our Creator. If we're worshiping on a Sunday in a man-made church with some fake priest or fake guy, that's not the desire of the Father. If we have invalid weights and measurements and we're drinking blood, we're eating the fat, that's not the desire of the Father, right? The desire of the Father is the Torah commands that we all went over just a little bit ago. He wants us to look different, taste different, be different, smell different. Everything about us should not look like the world. And if we look like the world, we need to readjust our path. So we don't, because the world is not saved. And right above, guys, it says most people aren't saved. It's very, very few people. And so we want to be that few. Now, continuing on. Many shall say to me in that day, Master, Master, Adonai, Adonai, have we not prophesied in your name, Nabu in your name, and cast out demons in your name, and done mighty works in your name? Now, guys, before we go to the next verse, these people think they know Jesus Christ. They have said, they talk about him. They what they think of his, as his name. Jesus is not his name. That's not his Hebrew name. His Hebrew name is Yahushua. But these people are very intimate. These people are casting out demons in the name of the Messiah. And they're doing many mighty works in your name. Guys, there is something happening here that these people are all doing things in the name of the Messiah. And what does Messiah say to them? He says, I shall declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me, you who work Torahlessness, you who work lawlessness. Guys, if you are not keeping the Torah of the creator of the universe, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, Messiah Yahushua is sending you to hell. This is a hell. This is being sent to hell, right? Depart from me. You can say depart from me. You can say go to hell. You can say leave. You can say hit the curb. It's all the same. It's not being embraced in the arms of our Creator. It's not being embraced in the arms of our Messiah. It's not being embraced into the kingdom to come. We're kicked out, right? People are going to be shocked. All of these people are completely shocked because they thought they were doing works in the names of our Messiah, and it means nothing. Now, if you go into the book of the Nazarene, chapter 9, he reiterates a little bit more in this because what he says, what he says to them also, like 22, he says, you are unauthorized. I didn't authorize a word that came out of your mouth. He says this almost exact same verse, but then he also reiterates to it that I didn't say for you to say any of this. None of this was by me. Depart, leave. And so this is a very important chapter, 24. Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and does them shall be like a wise man who built his house on the rock. Right? What are we hearing, guys? What words? What words are we talking about, gentlemen?
The ones he's saying here, the ones that if you hear these things and you change your ways now, you will.
Yeah.
If you build your life on the Torah, if you start here today and you build your life on the Torah, your life will change.
Yeah, and you're building your house and your family's house and your life on a rock. And the rain came down and the floods came and the winds blew and beat on that house and it did not fall, for it was founded on the rock. Right? So that's for the people who hear what Messiah says. Now, if you don't hear, then this is what he says. And everyone who hears these words of mine and does not do them shall be like a foolish man who built his house on the sand. And the rain came down and the floods came and the winds blew and they beat on that house and it fell. And great was its fall. And it came to be when Yahushua had ended these words that the people were astonished at his teaching. For he was teaching them as one possessing authority and not as the scribes. Wow. That is like, I love that chapter. I love that verse, guys. If you don't have any other New Testament doctrine, and this is all you have right here, and you believe this one chapter right here, that's your way to the Torah, right? That's your way to the kingdom path that you're on, right? It's all about the law keepers. Revelation 14:12 talks about the only people that will be saved at the end of time are the people who are law keepers and those who have the faith of Messiah Yahushua. It's a two-way street. We don't have a kingdom without a priest, a high priest, right? And we don't have the high priest without the Torah. And so we need to take the entire book from page 1 to the end of it and write this as doctrine on our hearts, minds, and souls, because that's what it's all about. And I will tell you, as somebody who's read this book over and over and over and over, there is no place in scriptures that the laws of our Creator have been abolished. You can be a foolish person and you can say Rabbi Shaul or Paul has freed me from the law, but you have 7/8 of the rest of the book that are contrary to what he says, if that is your understanding. Now, if you really want understanding, he doesn't say what a lot of it that you think that he says, because he was a very astute Jew. He was at the very top of his game. He had the Torah memorized. You do not study under Gamaliel, the guy he was studying under, unless you had the entire Torah memorized. So you're not dealing with somebody who did not know the Torah. And so when you think the laws have been gone and you don't understand what Paul says, look to see what our Creator says. What does Yahuwah says? He says, I want you to keep these laws, statutes, and commands for all generations, for all times, for all peoples, and I will bless you, or I will curse you if you don't. So with that, everybody, I think that does it. Mr. Cole, you got anything?
Sister Barb just said, he said, learn from me in Matthew, not Shaul.
Yeah, absolutely, right? And if you're taking Shaul as your Messiah, that is dangerous. And I think that's what the Christian religion does. And the first time that you talk anything that Paul might not be saying the laws are gone, the Christians completely freak out and they're gone. And so that is what programming does. Programming is an amazing thing, and the devil has programmed the entire world against the hands of our Creator. So hopefully this was a good reading for you guys. I had a lot of fun with Matthew. That was an amazing thing. Jade, will you please bless our brothers and sisters?
Yahuwah Baruch you and guard you. Yahuwah make his face shine upon you and show favor to you. He will lift his face upon you and give you peace.
They shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I myself shall barack them.
All right, everybody. We love you a lot. We hope you guys have a wonderful day. We're out.
Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Let the mountains shake, let the earth be moved, let the nations may tremble at your presence. Let your fire burn, let the waters boil, let your name be known to this generation, and come down. That you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Will you restrain yourself any longer? Don't hide your face in your anger. When Jerusalem is oppressed by the nations, the place of your throne, a desolation, come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. There will be thunder in Jerusalem. Like a lion you will roar. Indeed you're angry for the sake of Zion. And all the nations they will know when you come down. When you come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. Oh, come Indeed we have sinned, and we need saving. All our righteousness is rags. No eye has seen, no ear has heard, but you prepared for those who wait. When you come down.
All right, brothers and sisters, may Yahuwah bless you and keep you. May his light forever shine on you. May his grace forever be a part of your life. May Messiah Yahushua forever be a part of your life. And may we all see each other in the kingdom to come. And may we be found worthy. Much love to all y'all. We're out.